Is salt the key to spiritual power? Uncover the hidden truth in the Bible. In this video, we'll uncover the incredible power of salt in spiritual warfare. You won't want to miss this. Salt isn't just for seasoning. It holds the key to breaking curses and inviting blessings into your life. Have you ever wondered why Jesus told his disciples, "You are the salt of the earth"? Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal the answer. And I promise you'll be amazed at what salt can truly do spiritually. Let's start with an undeniable truth. Everything was created by God, for God, and through God. That means even salt has a divine purpose. It wasn't a random creation. It was made by God's hand, just like every other element in the universe. From the beginning of time, salt was created, just as Genesis says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." Salt, like fire and water, holds power. Fire consumes, water gives life, and salt preserves. Have you ever thought about it this way? Salt doesn't just preserve food, it can preserve your faith in times of trial too. I'd love to hear your experiences with salt. Many of you have been touched by its power in your life, and sharing your testimony can inspire others. Have you seen healing after using salt in prayer? Leave your comments and let's strengthen each other's faith. Salt's ancient power was well known. It was used to preserve, to season, and even as currency in ancient Rome. So why do we question its spiritual significance? Why do we easily accept oil as sacred but doubt salt's power? In the Bible, Jesus used parables to teach, but salt's role is clear. It's a sacred tool. Don't let misconceptions stop you from experiencing the transformative power of salt in your life. Let's address a lie from the enemy. In John 10, we're reminded that the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. The enemy wants to steal the truth about salt, hiding its spiritual power from us. The truth is, God uses what he created to fulfill his divine will, and salt is no exception. Did you know that salt, just like oil, has a sacred purpose? We often see oil as a holy tool. It's mentioned over 20 times in the Bible, used to anoint the high priest, the tabernacle, and even its furnishings. Leviticus 8, Exodus 25. But here's the catch. The power wasn't in the oil itself. It was the obedience to God that made the ritual sacred. If God commands you to use oil, do it. But why don't we do the same with salt? Why ignore a powerful weapon God has given us? Salt, like oil, has a divine role. Jesus said in Matthew 5, "You are the salt of the earth." Salt preserves, purifies, and reflects God's power. We must not let the enemy steal this truth from us. The Bible shows us that God used simple, natural tools, salt, oil, water, as instruments of his will. Moses' staff became a serpent at God's command, not because the staff had power, but because God's will was manifested through it. Now we know that evil exists, and Satan tries to corrupt what God created. Just like he attempted to steal authority from Jesus in Matthew 4, he wants to twist the sacred for his own purposes. We must be vigilant, using the tools God gives us, with reverence and purpose. Think about the story of Lot's wife in Genesis 19. God used salt to punish disobedience, not Satan. Salt was a tool of God's justice. In Leviticus 2, God commands that every grain offering be seasoned with salt, emphasizing its importance in purification. Salt is not just for food, it's a covenant tool, purifying and symbolizing the perpetual relationship between God and his people. Let's reflect. Are we using the tools God gave us with faith, reverence, and obedience? Salt isn't just an everyday object. It's a spiritual tool with a divine purpose. Let's honor that purpose and embrace the power of salt as God intended. In the spiritual realm, salt is a powerful tool used to purify, to seal covenants, and even to break curses. Have you ever wondered why salt holds such significance in both ancient and modern rituals? Why do witches use it in their dark practices? It's because they understand its spiritual authority, an authority that was given by God. Salt, created by the Almighty, holds deep meaning beyond its physical properties. It's no coincidence that God chose salt to represent purity and permanence. Let's reflect on a powerful moment in the Bible. Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt after looking back at the doomed city of Sodom. This is a stark reminder that salt is not just a mineral, but a spiritual symbol, one that has been misused by the enemy, but also one that we, as children of God, can use to undo curses and reclaim what is ours. In Zephaniah 2, God promises to turn the enemies of his people into a perpetual desolation, a pit of salt. This shows us that salt isn't just for blessing, it's also a weapon to break spiritual strongholds. Are you facing generational curses or spiritual attacks? Don't fear. Salt is your inheritance. Use it to purify your home, your family, and your finances. Just as Elisha purified the waters of a poisoned spring with salt, you too can purify and sanctify your life through this sacred mineral. And when it comes to the covenant of salt, remember, it's not just a ritual, it's a promise, a sign of lasting faithfulness. The ancient practice of eating a meal seasoned with salt to seal a covenant shows us that salt binds us to our word, our promises, and ultimately to God. So what's the takeaway here? Salt is not just a seasoning, it's a weapon, a tool of purification, and a sign of divine authority. Whether you're fighting spiritual battles or seeking restoration in your life, salt can be the key to unlocking blessings and breaking curses. Don't underestimate its power. In the name of Jesus, let it purify, protect, and bring about victory in your life today. Salt, seemingly just an ordinary mineral, holds a profound power when it connects with the spiritual realm. It's not just salt, it becomes a symbol of covenant, blessing, and cleansing. Jesus, in his miraculous acts, merged the spiritual and physical worlds, like when he used saliva to heal a blind man. The earth is just dirt until it becomes the place where we are formed. Saliva is simple water, yet it purifies and cleanses in sacred rituals. But salt? It's far more than a seasoning. It symbolizes the eternal, used to purify, curse, and bind covenants. Its purity, dedication, and usage must be handled with reverence. Only then does it work its power. But here's the catch. Salt has no effect without faith. Faith is the key that unlocks its potential. The Bible tells us in Numbers 21 of a bronze serpent, an instrument of salvation. God's people looked upon it and were healed from venomous bites. Yet in Kings 18, it became an idol, a symbol of corruption. This teaches us, don't let the blessings of God become a relic of the past. A true Christian stands firm in faith, no matter the season. If you're looking for spiritual power, don't just read about it, live it. So ask yourself, are you ready to live supernaturally? Step into that power today. God's blessings await. Click here to uncover what the Bible truly says about salt and faith.